watch television, chances are you may if you watch PCNC, because that's pretty much 80% of the programming on the channel.
Of course.
You would know Gina Redmond, or you may have seen her recently. She used to work in this market, as they say, in the TV trade years ago. Most recently of WFAA in Dallas, which I was telling them earlier is a pretty darn good TV station.
It is a good station.
Has a great reputation.
Not as good as this one.
No, of course not.
Better.
What is, yeah.
Yeah, right.
So, are you from here originally?
No, I'm originally from Philadelphia, but my husband's family is here.
Ah.
Like his whole family has 6 brothers and sisters, and they all live right near each other.
Oh, so since you moved back,
yes.
They're probably at your house every weekend.
I see them a lot.
Taking stuff out of your refrigerator, just annoying the hell out of you.
But you know what's great? I have 2 kids, and they're 2 and 4.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
see, I don't know anything. I just wanted to do this cold. That's
right.
great.
2 kids, Whitney and baby Ivan. We're going to eventually get rid of the baby part, but you know, it's just easy to say that now.
Sure.
But what's great is they have so many cousins to play with. There's like 17 cousins, and they're all around the same age, so that's nice. We have babysitters now.
All right,
we didn't have that before.
You're a full-time anchor woman now. You've got 2 kids.
Right.
You must be exhausted constantly.
I'm batty. Batty. I cannot, and you know what's scary? I don't keep an organizer. I don't do that. I need to start doing that because I can't remember things. Like I had to ask a couple people if I was on your show today.
Yeah, and I had to. Well, I left a message on your little answering machine.
I'm glad you did.
But I was hoping you'd shown up. I know, but I can't believe it. I can't. It's just mind-boggling. I can't even imagine that.
Yeah.
So you're from Philly.
Yes.
Then what? You decided you wanted to be a TV journalist someday,
I'm not
or
sure
no?
why.
What happened?
I had a momentary lapse of insanity. Decided I wanted to do this business, and I actually started in radio.
Ah.
Oh, it was terrible.
Were you?
Oh, it was awful in radio. I remember
Were you
my
doing
first
news or disc jockey stuff?
No, news. And
Okay.
I remember my first radio job, the owner of the station came running back. I guess he didn't know I had been hired. Came running back and he said, "Who's on my air? They sound like they're on helium. Get them off." It was awful. It was bad.
Did you sound bad back then?
I was really bad.
How did you just through age and practice, or
Age.
did you do vocal exercises?
Vocal, I did actually. I've
stuff
had a
like that,
couple
yeah?
speech coaches because I had to
Okay.
get rid of the Philly accent.
How does it? Give me a Philly accent.
I used to say, "You going to get some water?"
Water.
Yeah, and I never knew that was a problem.
Right.
Are you going to wash some clothes?
Right.
You know, who knew? That
And,
was a problem.
Yeah, because I don't detect a trace of it now at all.
No, that comes from people correcting me.
Probably when you get mad, though, it still comes out.
Oh yeah. Or when I'm with a friend, you know.
Right.
And then it really gets bad.
All right. So and where was this radio station you began?
Altoona, Pennsylvania.
How about that?
Yeah.
And then what?
And then I went to work for a TV station in Altoona, and I was there, and then I came actually to Pittsburgh.
The TV station you were doing news there? Mm-hmm. Reporter stuff, anchor stuff?
Reporter,
Both?
yeah. Actually, I was a part-time reporter. I just wanted to get into TV.
Right.
Just wanted to do it. And so I worked at JCPenney's part-time, selling clothes. I sold Cutco knives door to door, and I had my TV job.
What kind of knives?
Cutco.
What are they?
They're the best knives
Are they
you
like
can buy.
Ginsu knives? I mean, are
They're
they
better than
like
Ginsu
Runco?
knives. Yes.
You know?
And you know, when I think about it, it cracks me up that I would knock on a stranger's door. They had no clue who I was. They'd let me in their house with a bag of knives.
I was just thinking that. I mean,
Isn't that
wouldn't
bizarre?
They? Yeah. Well, I mean, you have a nice face. You don't look like a murderer, but still.
You never know, you know?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That'd be the most diabolical way to do it. So you had all those jobs. Then you came to Pittsburgh, and you worked at Channel 4 for a while.
Yes.
Anchor
I had all my
reporter,
friends at
same
Channel
thing.
4. Yes.
You still have friends there?
I don't know. Hopefully I do.
How about that Scott Baker guy? Is he like some weird freak or something behind the scenes?
No, he was a really nice guy.
Was he there then?
Yes. Matter of fact, he had just gotten hired when I was there. So he was a nice guy.
Can you give us any dirt on any of those people? Sally Wiggin like floss her teeth in the newsroom or
you're
anything?
awful.
Something like that?
I couldn't divulge that
All right,
stuff.
never mind. We don't want to talk about them anyway. And then you ended up in Dallas. Now, what was it like, a Pennsylvania girl moving to Dallas, Texas?
You know what? Dallas was really nice. It gets very hot there. I mean, we're
Very
talking
hot.
110 for a week or 2 weeks. And I remember we'd have to turn our air conditioning on probably February, and we'd leave it on till the next winter, if there was such a thing as winter.
Right, right.
But it was nice. I mean, I was there for almost 6 years, and I liked it. It was nice, but it's so good to be back. It really is. It's good to be back.
So then this is sort of the perfect job for you, I
It
would
is.
think,
It's
in many
perfect
ways.
because it's so important just to have family around. That's really important to me.
So, but you come here and you have to audition like everybody does. In
Yeah,
other
I'm
words,
so
even if you're
nervous.
good, which you are, they don't know if you fit with the people.
Right,
You might not think you fit. You know, who knows?
Right.
Everybody has to find out if everybody likes one another.
Right.
So you sit down there and there's David Johnson. You know, and he's David Johnson. He's doing his David Johnson anchor thing, you know. I guess he doesn't really do that, but if he... Did you think? I mean, how do you? After you read with him the first time when you were auditioning?
Oh, I said I'm not getting this job.
Oh, really?
Oh, because I know this sounds crazy, but when I came down for the interview, I was so sick. I caught this flu bug that lingered and lingered, and I couldn't breathe. I sounded congested. I couldn't talk. I coughed through the whole thing. I was on delayed reaction with everything I said. It was not good. I went home and I said, well, I didn't get that gig. And I didn't hear from them for, what, 3 weeks or something. Yeah. So I was convinced it wasn't happening. So then when I got
you know how TV people are. They take forever to do anything.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's what happened.
Except just get the show on the
air. Right.
They can do that. But how about that? So you actually sort of had the flu and you just weren't at the top of your game?
Yeah, it was terrible.
But did you feel that you could ever develop a rhythm with David? I guess not. I guess you just thought you screwed it. And
I thought I really messed it up.
Yeah.
But it turns out, I mean, I really like being here, and he's a good person to work with, and he actually has a really good sense of humor. He's really funny. Is that true? He's very funny.
Because he's such a stiff, boring guy most of the time around here.
No, he's very funny.
Yeah.
You're awful.
Yes. Thank you very much. So how are you surprised that you? I don't want to use an old shoe analogy, but it fit like a new. You fit well instantly. Well, you know, it's like you were here for years or something. Well, it seems natural. I keep interrupting you, but it seems natural to turn it on, and there you guys are, and you look like you've been together for a while, not a few weeks.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing. I mean, it just feels good to be back. I mean, the city for the most part is the same as when I left it. Mayor Murphy was in office when I left, and well, he's hopefully, well, I won't say hopefully.
He was a punk then, and he's a punk now.
No,
no, I know, it's not hopefully, but presumably.
Right.
Yeah.
That's when I want to be objective, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But most of things the only thing that really changed that kind of threw me for a loop when I came back, when I left, there were county commissioners.
Right.
So coming back, I'm like, what's this? What's this?
Yeah.
You know, I had to learn that over again, but for the most part, the city's the same.
You know, Jim Ryder, the county executive, he's kind of like Hugh Hefner. Walks around in a smoking jacket all the time, like 3 hot babes on his arm.
Hugh Hefner was the general manager of the station I used to work at.
He was not.
Didn't know.
That was his name?
Yeah.
The guy, I mean.
Not Hugh. Jim Hefner.
Jim Hefner, right. Oh,
you're talking about the Playboy guy.
Exactly, yeah, no.
That Hefner.
No, I've heard that, I've heard about that other guy,
Yeah.
TV people. It's a tiny little community. When we come back, we will probe Gina Redmond more with heavy-duty journalistic questions of major significance, or we'll just keep you up in one of the two. Stay with us on Night Talk. Gina Redmond is here. She's the brand spanking new Channel 11 anchor. She works with Dave. She'll be on the news at 11 o'clock. And Dave will be on the news in 15 minutes.
Yes. I want people to watch the 11 p.m. news.
Yes,
definitely.
They are. Well, they apparently are in droves. Apparently, it's a big thing. You've covered a lot of stories, I'm sure, in your time. Any that come to mind in particular that had an impact on you? That's sort of a standard question you ask reporter anchor types.
I'm trying to think. I've met so many neat people, and I'm trying to think of the person that intrigued me the most, and there were a couple that really stood out. I got to meet the Duchess of York. She came on our show. Yes.
Sarah Ferguson.
Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York.
She's very down to earth, I assume?
Extremely down to earth, and it was funny because when I used to host a show called Good Morning Texas while I was there.
Yes.
And
this is a big show there, isn't it?
Yeah.
What time's that on?
9 to 10.
I've heard of that show.
And we were all very nervous about her coming on because we didn't know if we were told, don't speak until you're spoken to, do not extend your hand to do a handshake because it's improper protocol.
Come on.
Well, you don't want to offend a royal. So we were so nervous, and then so she comes up and she says, oh, please shake my hand, and she was very neat and very down to earth and very forthcoming, and I really enjoyed meeting her. Al Jarreau was a neat person, and everything he says, he kind of sings it. So
he really did?
He really did, yeah. He was neat, but everything was like, how you doing, Gina? You're just a great girl. And I was like, so that
he does little percussion jazz riffs amid that's really funny.
So that was.
If you have that old interview laying around on tape, bring it up sometime.
But I mean, and that was kind of neat. And then Laura Bush, of course, at the time, she was married to Governor George Bush of Texas, so we had her on the show before she became First Lady. And
she's a lot smarter than he is, isn't she? Maybe you shouldn't say that, actually, because you're the news person, so you're neutral.
But she's very intelligent, very well spoken, and it was just neat to meet her too.
You didn't meet the drunken offspring, did you, the kids? Okay, good.
No, I didn't meet any daughters.
So, young people must say, they say, Gina, I want to get into broadcasting.
Don't do it.
So would you?
No, I wouldn't want my kids getting into broadcasting. It's a tough business.
No, that's interesting. Well, I mean, I'm
No.
aware of that, but well, you have 2 kids. That's right. You'll be faced with that one day.
Yeah.
They're 2 and 4 now. But
My daughter thinks everybody's on TV that works, and I don't want her to think that, because it's not. I would not want my kids to get into this business. And when we have interns that come through, I always try to tell them. And I wish someone had told me this, because when you're coming through, you think everybody's going to be the next Barbara Walters. And it just realistically, it's a tough business. You really do have to have a thick skin, and you can't take it personally when someone says, your hair doesn't look right, or I don't like the way you sound. I mean, because that's realistic, that's the business. And if you have thin skin at all, you will not make it.
so you were wounded as a young broadcaster many times?
I was wounded so many times. From you need to lose like 50 pounds to your makeup doesn't work, or your hair doesn't work, or your voice isn't working. It's just the business. But I think you can take every bit of criticism you get, analyze what you think applies, and then try to work and get better. Because when I get on the set, I take it very seriously. And it took me a couple of years to get to that point. Because when you're first starting out in the business, it's new, it's fresh, it's fun. And then you realize this is a serious job. And so when I'm on the set, I don't talk a lot. I'm not overly friendly on the set because I'm focused. And I really think it's important to try to be perfect. Perfection is very difficult to achieve, but if you can strive for that every night, then you're pretty much guaranteed to have a good show 90% of the time. That's very important to me.
People think it's easy to be an anchor person. Come on, everybody can read aloud. I happen to agree with you that it is tough, but what's so tough about it for people who are thinking that right now?
You know, the best analogy someone gave to me when I was in the business starting out, they said a good anchor is a good actor, but someone who truly cares and understands what they're acting about. Because every story you read, you cannot read it the same. It has to be different because you're selling the viewer that story, whatever the story may be. And that's hard to do, especially when you have people talking in your ear. See this earpiece?
Why are you wearing that now?
It's just habit. I
just
feel
have it
naked without it. But I mean, you have someone when breaking news happens, the hardest thing is to remain calm, cool, and collected, and keep your concentration. That's not easy.
It is not, is it? That's very true. And you have to look like you're on top of it, even if you have nothing to say. You might have to repeat what little you know over and over again.
Exactly.
Creating the impression that you know something when you know nothing.
Exactly. But then on the flip side, it is a great job. I mean, there's a lot of pluses to it as well. It keeps you well informed. You get to meet some very unique, interesting people. Hey, I get to meet you.
Yeah, whatever.
All right, okay.
That's the downside.
But I mean, it's a rewarding business, and obviously I must like it because I'm still in it. Although I have to say, much of my graduating class from Penn State has gotten out of the business.
Oh, really? A bunch of people who got into it when you did, they have left. And what happened?
They wised up, became attorneys, got into public relations. Some were blessed and got to stay home with their children. I mean, so, you know, it's just a wide spectrum, but a lot of people got out.
Because, you know, there's a lot of bitchers, moaners, and complainers in broadcasting. You know,
No, that wouldn't be me.
Are you one of those?
No, are you?
Yes, well, yeah. But I just wondered if you have gone home over the years, and I assume you've been...
Well, what I try to do now, and it's taken me a long time to get to this point too, is not take it home.
Ah, that's smart. Difficult, but smart.
Yeah. When I had kids, my whole perspective on news changed because stories involving crime, involving the death of a child really started to bother me. And when I was single, without children, and just kind of living my life for myself, you know, it bothered me, but not to the extent it does now. Now when I read a story about a child who, I don't know, died at the hands of their parents or something, it hurts. And so when I read those stories, I try not to get too emotional about them because it really bothers me.
What's the most annoying thing you found so far about David Johnson? Does he floss his teeth on the set?
Let me see, what's the most annoying thing about David Johnson?
He just walked in the studio, but he doesn't know more.
No, David doesn't really have any annoying habits.
Nothing?
No.
Doesn't chew gum?
No, he doesn't.
It's like,
I don't have any what?
Annoying habits.
Oh, class, I thought you said.
no, we didn't say that.
No, he's a good guy. He's one of the best co-anchors that I've had, and I've had quite a few.
Have you had some crummy ones?
Oh, yeah.
And what's wrong with them?
Oh,
Without naming names.
No, I know, but I've had co-anchors that just leave you out to dry. Like knowing full well, like you're missing a script from your stack, and knowing you don't know it and just leave you hanging, then look at you like you're an idiot for not reading the right story.
Because it's a vicious, backbiting
Yeah.
little industry, isn't
Yeah.
it?
So
And
I've
that's
had-
why you wouldn't let your kids go into it.
Yeah, that's really why. It's a tough business. It
Well,
really is.
so you'll make sure they don't go into it at all costs. I mean, you're
Well,
gonna,
I'm
you're
gonna
to
try.
indoctrinate them from the tiniest.
I'm going to try, but watch, my daughter will probably do it or my son will, but I'll try.
So future goals, just do the best job here that you can and live out your life, or
Yeah, that's my career is part of my future goals, but my ultimate goal, I know this is going to sound corny,
That's all right.
but to be the best mother and wife that I can be. Sounds corny, but that really is it. I mean, because I look at my rearing of my children as my most important job, because if I can do that right and make them well-adjusted, happy individuals, then I've succeeded. And I think in going along with that, I need to be a good wife, too, to my husband, good spouse.
All right, well, on that incredibly happy note, I love Lassie, and we're all one big happy family. Oh, Reg. All right, hey,
We
thanks.
bonded.
It was really, it was good to talk to you.
It was good talking to
You're a professional human being, which is highly unusual that they would hire somebody like that around here. So,
Thank
continued
you.
success. Please come back and see us.
I will.
Maybe we'll
Thank
have you and David on, and
Then we'll find out. Then I can hear from David what are some
Yeah.
of my bad
Yeah.
habits.
we'll get Finnegan back on here one day, too. She hasn't been on since, like, the late 70s. She's sick of this crap. All right, back in a moment with a final word. Stay with us. Gina gave us absolutely no dirt on you whatsoever.
Trained her well, and the payments have worked. So,
Are you, not to obsess on this minutia too much, but are you amazed that you fit well together, or it seems to me that you do? And I'm not
Yes.
just saying that. I mean, I guess it sounds like I'm not saying.
no, I think we do, and she's a great lady, and she's
almost
good
odd.
at her job, and it does. We're friendly right away. I think we work well together. I don't know if she told you this though about herself. Do we have a lot of time left?
No, but probably enough time to say this.
We really
Oh,
do?
yeah, we do, Dickie says. All right, yeah.
Okay. There's one thing that she does, and it's maybe I shouldn't say this.
Oh,
but,
go ahead.
Okay. Right before news time. What was my mic wasn't off? Was it? Was there a problem?
The Channel 11 censors are everywhere. Big
Oh,
Brother
man.
is everywhere.
Unbelievable. Well, that'll have to be for another night, I guess.
Tomorrow night, Mark Madden. There'll be no censoring that whack job. I hope to see you then. Have a good evening, everyone.